I would like to talk about collaboration. Scientists are experts, but experts in a usually very small subject area. So whenever we need something else, something outside of our core competencies, we start collaborating. We usually collaborate with our colleagues in the same company, but sometimes, if this is not enough, we start collaborating also with external research, with other companies having the knowledge in that specific area. And in the next couple of minutes, I would like to explain you some little details about how we built our ELN solution for the internal research and how we opened it for the external research. As you know, to protect intellectual property and to make the research as much reproducible as possible, people or humans started to record their experiments a long time ago. And today we are probably not hitting in stone anymore. We also mostly got rid of laboratory notebooks on paper, and the modern way of documenting our research is usage of electronic laboratory notebooks. And the electronic laboratory notebooks, on top of the basic needs to protect the intellectual property and making the research somehow reproducible, they help us also to standardize processes, to collect, share, and make the data available to our scientists, so we can build a good foundation for any kind of data science and make the data fair. In our case, we have implemented Cygnus Notebook with the internal name PESTO ELN that we use in early biological research for non-GXP areas in healthcare R&D laboratories. It was implemented in the year 2021 as a direct successor to another solution we had for more than 20 years, namely OpenLab ELN. Before going live, or with going live with the PESTO ELN, we have migrated all the OpenLab ELN experiments to it. And as of today, more than 800 active users have captured more than 40,000, as of yesterday, 40,000 experiments, so new records directly in PESTO ELN. We use an internal system called IP Record Store to long-term archive documents that are relevant for securing our IP. That was one of the very first things we had to implement before actually going live with PESTO. So we have integrated PESTO with IP Record Store by a dedicated interface service that utilizes Signals API to pull PDF reports from Signals and store them to the IP Record Store system automatically on every single signature step in PESTO. So this way we make sure that we have the most recent snapshot of an experiment secured in the IP Record Store. Another integration we have achieved was the integration with a so-called research database. That is our well-established data turntable for any kind of laboratory results. We use it for automated population of data, for automated transfer of data from the research database into the ELN. For example, to pull molecular properties to be used as content, or to pull project codes and similar controlled vocabularies to be used as metadata for the experiments. And another tiny extension we have added recently is is a workaround to compensate some deficits in Signals Notebook to implement user-managed data. That is, go back. That is taking the data actually from experiments in the ELN and exposing them back to the ELN as external data sources. So, with our long history of ELN usage and our open ELN usage culture, we have already achieved a quite harmonized solution, and we have achieved a high quality of experimental documentation for the internal research. At the same time, we have struggled with the experiments conducted at our external research organizations, or you say also CROs, because there you have usually individual collaboration agreements resulting in a very typical approach that the experimental documentation is handed over from the CRO to us or to the project team at the end of a project or maybe a phase. So with a huge delay, so it's not directly in the ELN, it's at some later time point ingested or type it in or copy pasted into our ELN by an internal team member of that collaboration project. The issue with that is that it brings a lot or a series of challenges. So we have varying quality and write-ups, so quality standards and write-up styles, and also even the scope of that documentation might be quite different. So after, with the huge delay, we might lack of understanding the details or even completely what the external partner have done. And as I told, we lack of some kind of harmonization or standardization across these different projects. Imagine that situation, so you detect in your scientific results, you detect a huge difference that is completely unexpected. And if we are talking about internal research, you would just start looking up in the ELN what was different with your experiments to find different conditions. So what are the details? Why is there such a difference? But in case these experiments were conducted externally, you would typically start a cascade of communication going through the alliance or collaboration manager to the ERO, forward and back, until you get some proper details to understand what happened. That might be very, very time consuming. So it might be a good idea to avoid that in the future completely. And to harmonize all the aspects across the internal and external research, we have built we have developed a configuration for Signals Notebook to implement isolated working spaces for the ERO. So every ERO partner is able to document directly in our ELN, and to secure the data, we isolate them so they can see what their peers at that ERO are doing, so the experiments of that particular ERO, but they cannot break out of that working space. They cannot see what other EROs are doing or what internal users are doing. At the same time, we grant read access to all the experiments in the system to internal users so they can see directly what experiments are conducted at the ERO. In addition, so we have had to restrict a little bit the internal users as well, so they cannot break out of the internal working space in terms of writing experiments or sharing the data. And there is only one special role added in order to bridge that content creation gap of the role of a data coordinator, that are typically persons who is actually ordering the work from CROs. So they, in our system, they are also responsible for managing their particular business process templates and share them with the particular heroes. This is to provide some little details on the implementation or how we ring fence these working spaces. So I call it template-based experiment visibility, but in fact it's actually metadata-based. So there is a system-level template for all of the experiments that can be conducted at the heroes, and all of the particular business process templates are derived from that system template. So every single experiment that is created by an external user has a metadata, external organization, and based on how we organize the users, an hero can only use or can only populate that particular field with a single particular value. In combination with group assignment and security policies, we can guarantee that this record is visible to that hero, and this hero cannot see the other entries. At the same time, another security policy is granting read access to internal users. We have implemented a two-stage review with editing by a tiny workaround. So there, you might know that there is a two-stage review implemented in Cygnus Notebook, but it's not sufficient for us because we need the review with editing. And this two-stage review, as it is now, is not having that option. So we let the users at the hero, like a scientist and the supervisor, collaborate. So they share the experiment, and supervisor is reviewing that. Once they think it's final, the supervisor can use the normal editing review capability to send it to the data coordinator for a final review. Again, this is a workaround, and I hope that we can achieve more flexibility with the signature workflows in the future. I think there are some ideas on the ideas portal as well for improving that capabilities. To sum up a little bit, the solution is maybe not perfect, but it is immediately available, so we have started using it. And I think the next presenter will be showing a different solution, but that solution is still not there, right? So with that solution, we can already improve the experimental data quality, and we can harmonize it across the external and internal research. And we can also shorten the review cycles, and we can avoid those large feedback loops by making the data directly available in the ELN, by applying the same solution and the same standards, so we can easily accelerate the research and make a better foundation for data science. Thank you very much.